Welcome to Historical Facts 786. Today, we're diving into an explainer on one of history's absolute greatest mysteries. We're going to break down the facts, trace the history, and see exactly how a fascinating cultural tradition somehow snowballed into a deadly obsession. Imagine, just for a second, hearing about a city where literally every single building shines with pure gold, where the streets actually sparkle under the hot sun, and treasures beyond your wildest imagination are just waiting to be discovered. For more than 500 years, explorers risked absolutely everything searching for this legendary place. A few got rich, but many, many more just disappeared forever. Which leads us to ask, did El Dorado actually ever exist? Chapter 1. The Golden Myth. Okay, to really wrap our heads around this incredible myth, we have to look at what was going on at the time. The Spanish Empire had just conquered the Aztec and Inca civilizations, and they found staggering, mind-blowing riches. So, completely blinded by greed and their past successes, they convinced themselves that, hey, another massive golden empire just must be out there waiting in the wilderness.
Chapter 2. The Gilded One.
Now, here is a massive plot twist that changes literally everything we thought we knew. You see, the name El Dorado doesn't actually mean the Golden City. It translates to the Gilded One. Yeah, it originally referred to a person, not a place. Spanish explorers had heard these fascinating stories about the Muisca people in present-day Colombia, and, well, in all their excitement, they completely misunderstood the core of the story. According to sacred Muisca tradition, whenever a new chief was crowned, he'd be coated in sticky resin and then covered head to toe in pure gold dust. He literally became the Gilded One. After that, he would sail a raft right into the center of Lake Guatavita, throwing these massive, heavy amounts of gold and precious emeralds into the deep water as offerings to the gods. So you see, El Dorado wasn't a hidden city, it was a king. This was just a monumental cultural misunderstanding, but one that entirely changed history. On one hand, you have this deeply religious, highly localized offering, and on the other, you have the Spanish interpretation. Instead of taking a second to understand the spiritual significance, the conquerors just leaped to the conclusion that there had to be a sprawling metropolis built out of solid gold. Chapter 3. The Deadly Obsession. Because they genuinely believed they were looking for an entire city, hundreds of expeditions marched straight into total, absolute disaster. The reality of these jungle treks was incredibly grim. We're talking crossing raging rivers, climbing treacherous mountains, and enduring horrific diseases and starvation, not to mention brutal wildlife attacks. Some explorers even murdered their own crewmates over mere rumors of hidden treasure. And yet, crazily enough, the dream of El Dorado just refused to die. And this obsession wasn't just some brief fad either. It stretched across generations. It kicked off with the Spanish in the 1500s, completely captured the minds of famous English explorers by 1595, and actually lasted well into the modern era of archaeological science. Sir Walter Raleigh is actually the perfect example of this destructive myth. Back in 1595, he sailed to South America utterly convinced that this magnificent golden city existed near present-day Guyana. He even published a wildly popular book describing its vivid wealth, which, of course, just sparked even more doomed expeditions. But the reality? He found absolutely nothing. He ended up returning to England totally empty-handed and was eventually executed. It was the ultimate tragic price for a failed treasure hunt. Chapter 4. Clues in the Lake. So you might be wondering, if the city wasn't real, what happened to all that gold from the actual Muisca rituals? Well, over the centuries, archaeologists and divers have actually recovered stunning ancient gold artifacts directly from the murky depths of Lake Guatavita. They've pulled up intricately crafted jewelry and ceremonial offerings that perfectly confirm that those sacred Muisca rituals really did happen. But crucially, absolutely no evidence of a golden city has ever been found. Chapter 5. Hidden Amazon Cities. While El Dorado itself was undeniably a massive misunderstanding, modern science is proving that these thick jungles really were hiding incredible secrets after all. Today, archaeologists have basically swapped swords for advanced technology. Using LiDAR scanning and satellite imaging, scientists are literally peeling back the forest canopy. And they're finding massive, sprawling, ancient cities hidden right beneath the dense vegetation. It proves that advanced civilizations actually thrived in places we previously thought were completely uninhabited. Which, of course, leaves us wondering, what else might be hiding beneath the unexplored Amazon? Could another hidden city still remain undiscovered?
I mean, it's totally possible. History loves to surprise us. But experts firmly agree on this. Whatever we eventually find, El Dorado itself was just a legend, inspired by real cultural traditions, not a metropolis made of gold. Chapter 6. The True Treasure. So why has this specific legend survived for over 500 years, outlasting the very empires that started the search in the first place? Well, it's because it perfectly captures humanity's endless, relentless drive for wealth, adventure, and the unknown. Kept alive today by blockbuster books, films, documentaries, and video games, the legend survives mostly because it is rooted in the very real, rich history of indigenous civilizations. So, wrapping this all up, was El Dorado actually real? Well, the answer really depends on what you believe. A golden king? Probably. A sacred ritual involving gold dust? Almost certainly, especially since it's backed by physical artifacts. But a towering city built entirely from gold? There is zero historical evidence it ever existed outside the greedy imaginations of 16th century explorers. I'm going to leave you with that provocative thought. After learning the true origins of El Dorado, you really have to ask yourself, was the true treasure the gold sunk at the bottom of a murky lake? Or was it the incredible history, complexity, and culture of the indigenous civilizations who inspired this whole epic legend in the first place? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. If you enjoyed diving into this fascinating source material with us, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you can join us for the next historical mystery. See you next time.